cashing in, say, the way Liv did, well, that's like winning the lottery, isn't it? And I don't need to win the lottery because I work my ass off every week for a paycheck.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my family. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dip in ball man, I dump when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off of the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit. My game slide to boost it. Ain't I don't have to prove shit. Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit. Nigga, I know on these news clips. That's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch. Won't be around when they lose clips. Won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
Bro, I woke up early as shit this morning, man. And I went to sleep. I went to bed hella late, yo. I went to bed at like 5 in the morning. And I woke up early as hell. I woke up before 10. And I'm well rested. I probably went to bed at actually like 4. I actually think it was around 5 though, actually. But yo, what's up? How we doing today? I didn't know I was going to be able to record this wrestling video this early today. I thought this was going to have to be a video that I recorded later on tonight after the games. But that is not the case. My body clock said, get the fuck up, my boy. We trying to get rich, and I respect that. Yo, bro, first off, welcome to Wrestling with Saint. I know these episodes get very rare during the NFL season. But like I said, bro, don't worry. One day, this will be a big enough company to where we talking about all sports all the time, except for hockey, bro. And I will talk about hockey, too. We'll get people who talk hockey. But, yo, how's everybody doing today? It's Sunday. Imagine waking up to see your team lose today. That's the reality for a lot of y'all. I'm just putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to ruin your days or nothing like that, but your team gonna do a good job of doing that themselves. But anyways, yo, Crown Jewel. I remember when they first started doing Crown Jewel, going to Abu Dhabi, wherever the fuck it is overseas, in Saudi. I remember when they first started doing these shows, man. I remember when they first started doing them. These was glorified house shows. Terrible shows. Like, I couldn't understand for the life of me why Vince McMahon would not put on, why he would not put together a great card. Like, I couldn't understand why these Saudi shows were so atrocious. Like, but I think last year was the start of the Saudi shows becoming better shows. And thank God. Because when you look at the arena, I don't even know if it was in Jeddah. Like, I don't know where this shit was at. I'm just imagining it was in Saudi somewhere. Here's my thing. With the way the arena looked that they put it, but that the action take place in, it's an open roof stadium. Very nice looking stadium. The fireworks, like just the spectacle of the Saudi shows or of these shows when they go overseas and do these Crown Jewel shows, because of how big these things feel and look at times. Like last night, this shit kind of felt like a pseudo WrestleMania. It didn't feel like a WrestleMania. It just kind of looked like they went all out like a WrestleMania at times. The stage wasn't like WrestleMania out, but it did kind of have like one of them throwback WrestleMania ramps. And it did kind of feel like, I always remember watching these shows and watching the seats in the crowd, how they sitting on these nice ass cushions and shit. But these shows, to me, just off a look, they look big. Like, they might not feel big to certain people, but to me, they always look big. And so I never understood why they wouldn't go all out on these shows. But with that out of the way, we had 8 matches tonight. And I would love to get into these matches right now. Lord knows I would. But I'm going to have to pause real quick because I just realized I ain't got nothing to drink beside me. So give me a quick second. Now that I'm about to put this Pepsi in my system, bro, it's about to be a go. It is about to be a go. I wish I could talk about the pre-show. I didn't watch the pre-show. Okay, so, first off, I didn't even watch Crown Jewel when it originally aired. I saw the Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley match like at 12 o'clock or whatever. But I actually went into work at 12. I was just watching it while I was on the road driving to work. But I actually had to watch Crown Jewel when I got off of work at around 11 something. So I was starting to watch Crown Jewel at around 12 o'clock at night. That's when Crown Jewel started for me. But yeah, so where the fuck is first match of yo, first off, before I get into this show, because I actually got something to say, bro. Some of the dudes that I grew up with, bro, disgust me now. And I'm not going to say which ones or which one, you know. But man, such a shame to see somebody who you grew up with and you knew he was headed down, like you knew he was kind of on this little path of buffoonery earlier, and now you see him lean full into this level of buffoonery. Is just ridiculous, bro. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Sometimes I think a lot of times I think to myself, obviously, yo, I get rich, I can help a lot of, my people and whatnot. This dude really making me question, bro. The lifestyle that this dude choose to put himself into, bro, just will never make any type of sense to me, bro. And you know something else I don't understand? And this go both ways. I'm just speaking on it from a man's point of view, from my point of view, because I'm a man, not a woman. I'll never understand dating somebody who got like a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of different baby daddies, and a whole bunch of fucking problems, bro. Like, I just cannot understand that. And, I got these homies that love doing this shit. And then they'll even put a baby in this woman so they can give her even more kids and problems now that they got it. Just don't seem worth it for me, to be completely honest. Just don't seem like a cup of tea that I would ever imagine or enjoy drinking. But, to each his own. But I was talking to somebody the other day. Somebody who I know. I don't want to say I'm close with him no more, but we close in the sense that we used to be close. And we was talking. And this motherfucker was talking about like why I'm single and all this shit. Cause I tell people all the time, bro. I'm done with relationships for right now, bro. I haven't done relationships in about 2, 3, 4, 5 years, bro. Because I know who I am, bro. I tell y'all this all the time. I got no shot at being like, I have no time for a relationship in the sense that I do not care for all the things that come with a relationship right now. My mindset is not in a place to be in a relationship with somebody and to do all the things that you have to do in a relationship. It's no way that's going to happen for me. And this motherfucker was basically having this conversation with me to basically say, you don't think you could get to where you want to get to in life if you had a woman by your side? And basically trying to guilt trip me into not having a girlfriend or basically being a player or whatever you want to call it. Even though I don't consider myself a player, I just consider myself somebody who is single, who is going to take advantage of being single. You know what I'm saying? Women don't have to sleep with me. They can say no. Not to mention, I don't sleep with women that's in relationships. Because I'm just not that type of motherfucker no more. Now, I used to specifically only try to get with women who was dating somebody because I was that type of individual. Now, I don't even like messing up relationships and couples, bro. I think it's ignorant. But that's one of the ugly parts of relationships. Your significant other could cheat on you. That happens. And the biggest reason I stopped doing a relationship, because it's like 4 years ago, I realized to myself, bruh, I could care less if somebody cheat on me, bro. Like, I really could care less because I'm probably already cheating on them, to be completely honest with you. Like, I had no loyalty to relationships, no faith in it, no care for it. It was trophies to me. And in a sense, it still kind of is, which is why I don't put myself in a situation to be in relationships anymore. I was causing people to have bad days. And I don't like that. I don't want to be the reason somebody having a shit day, shit week, shit month. And so I just took myself out of the dating game. Now I told him. I didn't appreciate having this conversation with him because relationships is just not a conversation that I just like to bring up. I like to keep my sex life personal and whatnot. Everybody don't need to know that Saint not faithful, not going to be faithful or settle down no time soon. However, I told him, because he kept asking this dumbass question. But what if somebody just come along and, they just blow you away, yada, yada, yada. I said, for one, bro, it's not a movie. I said, that shit doesn't happen at all times. I said, I've never had love at first sight. I've had, damn, I want to fuck her at first sight. I said, but saying that I'm in love with somebody on first sight, I said, that's a fallacy and ridiculous. I said, but if it really has happened to people, then shout out. Because he the type of goofball that say stuff like this. Like he truly live in a raggedy fantasy. So many people can create other fantasies for themselves, but he continued to choose the raggediest parts of a fantasy to put in his fantasy. And it blows my mind that this conversation was happening with him, because I'm just looking at him like, bruh, your last 6 girlfriends all had multiple children. What? All of them you describe and say they ain't shit. You done had to beef with their boyfriends and baby daddies multiple times. Like, what are we doing right now? Do you not see the buffoonery? And it's so weird, because, people, it's like people look at your situation and not really look at their situation and understand, like, man, he might be looking at my situation like I'm the goofball, because I am. So, that was a weird little thing right there. But the first match of the night for Crown Jewel, bro, which was a pretty good show, I'm not gonna lie to you. But whoa. Let me get this out the way, because I might forget this. I actually might have forgot this. I don't think I would have, but I might have. And I want to get this out the way real quick. Yo, I'm be honest with you. It's a lot of times where I say I don't like crowds and things like that in certain WWE cities that they go to. Obviously, this is not a city they went to, but I tell you, obviously, it's not in a United States city, state or city, obviously. But either way, anytime they go to a different place with a crowd, I comment on the crowd, how the crowd reacts, right? And I didn't have a major problem with this crowd, except for a couple matches, because I started to realize something. I looked at the Bobby Lashley and Lesnar match. They was pretty loud for that match. They got a little hype. They wasn't as loud as I thought they would have been, but they was. I think I'm gonna get into that match when I get into it. They was good. It was 2 matches where I realized there was a huge difference in the crowd. In the matter of fact, I'm not gonna forget. I'm gonna get into it. I'm not gonna forget it, because I gotta get it. I gotta break it down. I don't want to just rip off what it was. I want to describe to you why I came to this conclusion. But the first match of the night was Bobby Lashley taking on Brock Lesnar. And now listen, bro. I've been waiting for this match for a long time. It seems as though Bobby and Brock both found their ways, two kindred spirits, on 2 different roads that eventually led them back to here. And I'm happy for this. And I hope that this rivalry goes places. You know what I thought this was based off of how this match ended? So Bobby Lashley dominated this match from start to finish. I did not see that coming. Like, you remember how Goldberg beat Brock so quick? That wasn't really him dominating Brock. That was like him shocking Brock, like a shocker coming out of the gate, because Brock didn't see that coming. This was just Brock getting his ass beat, to be frank with you. Like, Brock got dominated, and I don't remember the last time I seen Brock get dominated. Well, yeah, I do. When Roman got him, made him bleed on the steps at Madison Square. But other than that, to a wrestler not named Roman Reigns, I cannot remember the last time I seen Brock Lesnar get dominated like this in a match. And Bobby dominated him in a match. And the spectacle of seeing Lashley and Brock in the same match is pretty dope. That's why I hope that they build this rivalry like they did with. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different from Roman Reigns, because that's a once-in-a-generation type of rivalry. Also, a lot of championships were on the line. I don't know how you put. See, that's one of my things with this feud. I wish they could have waited till they figured out how to get that title, another title on these 2 dudes, because Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley should be the main focus of Raw. They should be the spectacle. Now, obviously, I'm biased with Bianca, but aside from Bianca, because Bianca is Raw, and I just want to ask somebody. I'm glad I just said it. Who is the last woman to carry Raw, not named Bianca or Charlotte? Because I can remember Charlotte carrying Raw for a long time, a while back. I remember Bianca carrying Raw now. Raw is a huge show. I know SmackDown seems like the biggest show right now because Roman Reigns is on it, but I'm gonna just tell you right now, when Roman Reigns ain't on SmackDown, that is not a better show than Raw. Even times when he is on SmackDown, if he not carrying the whole show throughout the night, Raw is the better show in my opinion, and it's been the better show for a while, except for when Roman is on. But that's neither here nor there. I guess you could say the tag team of Bayley and Sasha. But they wasn't really just on one show. They was on both shows. But Bianca carrying Raw like Charlotte did back in the day when she was the women's champion, they just murking this shit right now. I just want to put that out there. But the Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, to me, this could be a great feud. Now, I don't like how weak the reaction kind of felt in where I don't even know if they was really in Saudi. I could just be making that shit up. I did not remember where they was at. Jeddah, Saudi. I could not. The king of the city of Jeddah. I don't remember where exactly they was at, but I just know it was a beautiful place. Beautiful place. Everybody dressed as kings. But I wasn't feeling a reaction to this match in the beginning. Now, maybe something was wrong with my TV or whatever, my audio system that I was watching the show on. But it didn't seem like they was because you go to like a crowd in the States, they're going crazy for Brock Lesnar just off rip. Like they're going nuts for Brock Lesnar throughout the majority of a match. But then you have Lashley doing some of the stuff that he did throughout this match. I wanted to see Lashley hit Lesnar with the get lifted, where he raised you all the way up in the air for that spine buster with one hand and I wanted to see him hit that shit on Brock, bro. I wanted to see, and that's why I'm saying I think this feud definitely gonna go longer, because I think they also turning Bobby Lashley into a heel now, which makes sense because I will never be a big fan of. Well, I'm always be a big fan because I love Lashley, but I'm not a fan of babyface Lashley, because the only thing that babyface Lashley is, they did a good job building babyface Lashley, because obviously the reactions he was getting is huge. Here's my problem with babyface Lashley. When you have a babyface Lashley, while he is still dominant, he has not got the attitude in the field that he had as a heel. Whereas obviously when he a babyface, there's people he can beat, and he was still booked extremely dominant as a babyface. However, it's a lot of things that can happen to a Bobby Lashley when he is a babyface compared to what can happen to a Bobby Lashley when he is a heel. And I like the things that go along with a heel Bobby far more than I like the things that play along with a face Bobby. And I actually have a plan. I don't think you should team Bobby Lashley back up with somebody unless it absolutely make perfect sense. And I think reuniting him with MVP would make sense if Omos was in the crew also. Bobby Lashley, MVP, Omos. See, I like the Hurt Business, but I have to be honest. The Hurt Business with Shelton and Cedric was always going to be an experiment if it didn't pop the way. Now, I feel like they didn't give that enough time, especially when you look at some of the teams that they've given the time to. However, the problem is, in a lot of these other teams, not named the Bloodline, you don't have a Bobby Lashley as the face of that crew. Bobby Lashley is not somebody you want to be held down by a bad tag team for too long, or want to be held back by a goofball type of faction that's getting beat up on a regular basis. Bobby is too big of a star in their eyes and too great of a... I don't know why people boo Bobby at times, or why they don't get behind Bobby. I do think one of Bobby's things he got to learn how to do better is connect with the crowd, even though I don't agree with that type of thing. I don't think it's connecting with the crowd. I think it's working the crowd. Fuck connecting to the crowd. Because at this point, the crowd is pseudo-racist at times, bro, when they just choose not to root for black wrestlers, bro. And you can say, oh, come on, Saint, bro, you made this into a racist. Just go watch the fucking shows, bro. Just go watch them. And watch how the crowd react to Bobby Lashley on a week-to-week basis here and there, compared to how they react to other white wrestlers who are not giving you what Bobby is giving you. I see fans complain and bitch all the time about, oh, part-time wrestler, part-time. Bobby Lashley is there every week for the last couple years and been giving you, not classics because he can't get into the ring with a lot of top dudes nowadays to have great feuds with. But every time he do fight great opponents like he'd have throughout this USA title run, he was giving you great matches. And listen, Shout out to the crowd. They gave specifically the Chicago crowd that they had the pay-per-view at. That showed Bobby just straight love. Like, I thought Bobby was CM Punk for a second, bro. Then I remembered Bobby's not a dickhead. But the way Chicago crowd went hard for Bobby, and then it was another crowd that went hard for Bobby. I fuck with those two crowds because that's giving a wrestler they just do, like giving them their flowers. Like, this dude going out here every night busting his ass, giving you great storytelling, giving you great work ethic, and you still not giving him nothing. Like, that's when that happened for so long. That's very irritating, especially when the stories is making sense and shit. Y'all just choosing not to care. Like, I was with Shelton when he said, yo, it's crazy how they start chanting one more time for him to get F5 out of nowhere after everything he done for y'all over the last. That's what I'm saying. This is why I appreciate heels more, because they have this understanding, much like I do. Why would I be fighting for fans when they can switch up on me so quick when a favorite come in? Ronda Rousey going through that right now. Y'all was cheering for me. And then when one of your favorites, Liv, had to fight me, then you start booing me. That's wild to me. Granted, speaking of Liv, tell me how, because Bobby done been in his business longer than Liv, and he is far better in the ring, on the mic. He is better than Liv in every single way, and I'm not trying to compare him to Liv. Shout out Liv. But how is it Liv can get this reaction when she is nowhere near as good in the ring or has done anything near as great as some of these other people who've been busting their ass for y'all for years? And see, that's when I understand wrestlers coming out and talking negative about fans. Because imagine if Bobby do come out and go hard on fans, like real life hard, like not kayfabe. Like, imagine he sit down in an interview and is just talking as Bobby Lashley, the man, the human being, not as the character, not as the Almighty, and he's talk about how irritated it is hearing fans, the reaction he get from fans compared to what he has done. Because it'd be completely different if he hadn't done anything for this company. And you can't say, oh, well, he was started somewhere. Bobby Lashley started in the WWE. I remember his entire first run. And the fans damn near treated him the same way. And when he was finally starting to break through, they buried him to John Cena. Like, so, this, I just don't really truly understand what more Bobby got to do. And maybe this is going to be one of them things where they're going to have to realize, maybe, you know what? Maybe right now, and I'm not talking about the crowd. Fuck the crowd. I'm never going to understand they wishy-washy reactions to Bobby Lashley. That's going to always piss me off. However, because for some wrestlers, I understand the wishy-washiness. I don't agree with it, but I get why they choosing to be such. You be wishy-washy with Brock Lesnar. Oh, he a part-time wrestler sometimes. Oh, well, now he done put on great shows, so we like him now. I get you being wishy-washy on that. Like, I'm not wishy-washy on that. I'm always root for Brock because I don't care about that part-time wrestler bullshit, because I understand that Brock was doing this every day of his life at one point in time. But it's no reason to be wishy-washy on Bobby Lashley. But then you go out there and cheer Liv Morgan, who is nowhere near as good as most of the people you choose to boo. And then one of my problems is you're not even booing them because they bad or anything like that. You legitimately just booing them because you don't like them. And I understood even booing the Roman Reigns babyface, because when you see a certain type of babyface so many times on repeat, it gets very irritating seeing that babyface over and over and over and over again. And when you know it's forced and they consistently winning all the time. That is not Bobby Lashley. So, very confused. But Bobby dominated for the majority of this match. And then he put Brock into the hurt lock for a long time. Brock eventually got a pin because he kicked off of the ropes. And he was still in the hurt lock, but he still was able to get Bobby's shoulders down and get the pin. So it was one of those Brock Lesnar escape type shits. And what a fucking visual, because after the match, Brock was on the ground, like trying to regroup and shit. And you looking at Bobby just walk around like he's stalking his prey now. And I was like, yo, I don't even know if they meant to do this visual, but this is an insane visual. Looking at Brock Lesnar be basically stalked right now. Like, this is crazy. I don't know if the WWE knew that and I'm pretty sure they did, bro. They got some big thinkers over there. Big brain thinkers over there. But to see Bobby Lashley walking around and stalking Brock Lesnar was fucking crazy. And so the only thing, so here my problem with this match, because this was a great way to start a show. I know Big E was feeling this, just 2 slabs of meat. He was really feeling this other match later. But the Hurt Lock, I love the Hurt Lock. I do. And he do have the spear also, so it's not like his only finisher is the Hurt Lock. I would have liked to see him just beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar right there. Fuck a Hurt Lock. Try to kill this man. Like, try to hurt this dude. Like, that's what I would have wanted to see. Because I feel like it's so many places that this rivalry can go right now. And eventually I eventually imagine that they'll have to put this rivalry on pause to get a title involved eventually. But I'm telling you, Brock Lesnar is a banger machine. This could be a banger of a rivalry, bro. Especially if this rivalry turns Brock Lesnar into Bobby, in a sense that the beast that Brock Lesnar has been for the majority of his career in the WWE, he now passing that on to Bobby. Bobby is the new monster in the WWE. Bobby is the new beast in the WWE. Bobby is the Brock Lesnar who can come in and beat any motherfucking body on any given Sunday, and you don't question it, because that's Brock Lesnar. If that's what this feud is, a passing of the beast incarnate, basically, imagine how disgusting that would be. Could you imagine a world where Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar is tag team champions, bro? That shit would be insane. But I like this match, bro. And I love Bobby. I love Brock. I think this match will be done far better with a crowd that can actually appreciate what they are getting, and a crowd that's not going to be completely biased towards Brock and not show Bobby any type of love whatsoever. Like, that's just insane. But second match of the night, and this is when I began to realize a little bit, now this crowd might be up to something. So you get Damage Control taking on Asuka and Alexa for the women's tag team championship, which Alexa and Asuka won 5 days ago. Now, they had a little, they was talking in the back, and while they was talking, like, a Bray Wyatt thing popped up on the monitor, and I guess it distracted Alexa. God, please don't bring this shit back. Nobody is trying to see that Alexa, let me not speak for everybody. I'm not trying to see that Alexa Bliss goofball story with Bray Wyatt. That shit was atrocious. One of the worst stories I've seen in WWE in recent memory. Shit led absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. But you know what kind of irritates me? And I'm not trying to be super critical of WWE, but that's what we hear. We here to congratulate and, you know, be critical of a couple things. Why put some of these stories together if you did not have a goal, or end point, or any type of idea of how to book this thing out for the first year? Because Alexa Bliss not using Bray Wyatt to become a champion was ridiculous. Rhea Ripley being with the Judgment Day in that beginning of the thing and never having truly any type of impact and not pushing her to become better while being made no sense. So some of these decisions that are being made, now if this is something that people was like, oh, Vince, then yeah, Vince got to take this one on the cheek, because to create this many different type of stories or factions or characters and not have an end goal or not have any type of idea how or what to do with said teams is ridiculous. All right, and I'm going to get to Judgment Day later on tonight, which Judgment Day just look like a whole new faction right now with how great they have been booked over the last month or two. But Damage Control and Asuka, getting back to that, and Asuka and Alexa, I kind of felt like going into this match I knew who was going to win, because this just randomly hit me when they was doing intros. I was like, yo, as I was writing down my notes and shit, I was like, do Alexa and Asuka have a nickname? Like, do this team have a name? And I just kept seeing everybody call them Alexa and Asuka. So I'm like, it's no way this team is going to retain this title tonight. Plus, why did they just bring up the fact that they won this 5 days ago? They got to be losing this title. That was my initial thoughts going into the match. it was just a lot of shit that was stacking up to make me think they was finna blow this title. And I hate this for Asuka. You know, I was gonna hate that for Asuka because I love Asuka. Like Asuka stan, basically. But Damage Control, if you don't know who Damage Control is, that is Io Shirai, who is now Io Sky and Dakota Sky. Alright? Two dogs. Especially Io. Io is a fucking dog. But this was a great match to me. My problem with this match wasn't even the match. It was the fans. So I do think that this match got a "this is awesome" chant eventually. It took a while to get it. And I even think it came in one of the weirdest moments. But they did eventually get it. But that was my problem. There was a lot of high-level action going on in this match. A lot of great spots in this match that should have got more than it got. But it felt like the crowd really wasn't behind the women as strong as they were behind the men. But it was the first women match, so I wasn't really sure. After watching the whole show, I am for certain this crowd was heavily sexist towards the women. They were not rooting for the women had to work 10 times harder to get a reaction. Now, I always get irritated when they come over here and the women got to wear these full out things. They can't show no part of their body, their skin. Definitely can't have them asses out. Like, nothing like that. They cannot wrestle in their regular ring gear, which I do not find offensive in the slightest. But I have talked to people who was like, they had their asses out. All right, bro. Whatever. You see a little piece of their skin, bro, and you think you seeing their whole ass. Like, it's insane to me. But I don't like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm never going to like this rule, this stipulation that women have to be, you know, it's not like they're going out there in bikinis. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and then the man can go out there and basically just a fucking thong. Like, so it's really irritating to me, but that's not the show. Me breaking down the things I do and don't like about where WWE had this event. But this is what I am going to say. The fact that the women have to work so much harder to get any type of legitimate reactions out of these fucking crowds. Not the state crowds in the States. These specific crowds at Crown Jewel events. It's very irritating. And I can just go over these reactions in my head from the last couple Crown Jewels where women performed on the shows. And I'm not saying... I apologize for all the sniffling. I'm getting over a cold. I've been sick for 2 fucking weeks. But I'm not even saying that every single one of the women's matches have been great on the show. But neither has all the men's matches. And you still give them something. So I get very irritated. And it actually do distract me from the show when I hear nothing. Or when I hear mixed cricket type stupid reactions. Like, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to something that happened real quick. Bayley, Bianca. And see, this is kind of leaning me in towards the Bobby Lashley one too. Because this really pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. Why in the fuck was Bayley getting chants in that crowd? And I understand the star that Bayley is. Bayley is not the same star right now. So, and there's the way that this has been booked, it doesn't even make sense rooting for Bayley. Bayley is a crowd. Like, for a huge portion of a crowd to be chanting, "Let's go Bayley," and for Bianca to basically be getting no reaction throughout her match, made no fucking sense to me. And I'm not saying she didn't get a reaction. She got a reaction. She didn't get Bianca's reaction that she gets when she's in the States. She didn't get, and I'm not talking about, oh, where she in Tennessee in her home. No. Bianca is getting a reaction every fucking place she is at. She didn't get one the way she get it, but I'm going to get to that when I get to that. But this Damage Control match was a great match. So, at the beginning of this match, I was kind of confused. I was like, bro, am I going to enjoy this match? Because Alexa Bliss was doing a lot of posing, smiling, taunting, and things of that nature. And I was like, oh, man, I really do miss that heel Alexa Bliss. Like, this Alexa Bliss is just not for me. And then almost immediately, she ended up going into a little sequence. And I'm like, I take that back. Alexa Bliss is a dog. This is the Alexa Bliss I've been waiting to see. Put her in the ring and let Little Miss Bliss go. Okay? I used to have a homie who loved Alexa Bliss. Like, I'm talking about he was head over heels for Alexa Bliss. Haven't been a fan of hers in forever. And that's not because he just stopped liking her. WWE stopped booking her properly. It felt like Alexa Bliss, after she lost that match to Charlotte at Survivor Series, really haven't been the same. But Alexa Bliss can get back there. I'm pretty sure she's still good on the mic. She's still unbelievable at understanding her character. That's one thing I'll always give Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss understands her characters. Like, the only time Alexa Bliss ever had a story that kind of threw me off a little bit was a Nia story, but she had so many stories with Nia. That's kind of why it was throwing us off. And she was real life friends, and then they had real life beef and all that shit, and I was like, okay, this shit confusing now, so I'm over this one. But other than that, Alexa Bliss is phenomenal at understanding her characters, which is why I cannot understand for the life of me how people like Asuka and Alexa can get so lost in the fray at times. But that's all right, because this match, to me, was clear evidence that Asuka and Alexa should not be lost in the fray. Now, very confusing ending at first, but we'll get to that. So, Asuka, bro. Oh, also, I can't remember who, I kept getting, like, Danny Phantom vibes from EO's fit. I don't even know if that's the proper cartoon that reminds me of that fit. Max Steel, Danny Phantom. Either way, I like the fits, but Alexa Bliss's fit was hard. I'm not gonna lie. That all black, that shit was hard. Not gonna. And I thought she might have took the night away, but I said to myself in my head, I was like, Bianca gonna come out with some fucking flames, and they lucky Becky not on this pay-per-view. But EO a dog. EO is a dog. Her and Asuka had these little moments. EO to me is the best part of Damage Control right now. Because, like, I understand EO don't do a shit ton of the talking right now, but EO is just so good in the ring. And she is so great at selling and telling a story without actually opening her mouth. Like, in the ring, she is very great at selling a story, putting her body on the line. Like, EO is a dog. I love EO Shirai, or EO Sky. Asuka with a missile drop kick sequence. Like, to me, the best sequences in this match was EO sequence, Alexa sequence, but by far the most beautiful sequence in the match got to be when Asuka lose control and she just start going crazy. She hit a missile drop kick, then she hit a couple crazy roundhouse kicks, then she hit the spinning back fist. Like, Asuka's strong style, Asuka is just such a joy to watch. Like, Asuka is one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. Like, she is so great when she get it going. It's kind of like AJ, when AJ do his little sequence, but Asuka just so sick with it. Like, I dead ass be thinking Asuka gonna knock motherfuckers out with that spinning back fist. Like, dead ass. Like, I can guarantee you that is a move that she could really knock somebody out. She perform it so clean every time she miss. Every time. The spinning elbows, the kicks, like, Asuka, dog. This is why I always come to Asuka's defense, bro. This is why I'm always repping hard for Asuka, bro. Asuka a fucking dog. I say this. Motherfuckers is super lucky Asuka do not speak fluid. Like, I guess that's the only reason. Like, she can't speak fluid English, or she not great enough or confident or comfortable enough speaking English all the time to where she can get a mic and, I guess, go crazy with the English. That's lucky for everybody else around her. Because Asuka is literally a creative player. I wouldn't even say that's an excuse. If these motherfuckers realize how to book, I think one of the things that fucked Asuka up was kind of the going undefeated for so long until she lost to Charlotte at Mania, which to me was fire at the end of the day. Like, I liked that run, but it was so many opponents who she was beating who really wasn't giving her the legendary matches that she could have gotten if she had came later on in her career and was facing the Charlottes, the Sashas, the Naomis, the Carmellas. Because Carmella will give you a great match too, because if they allow her time, Carmella will give you great matches too, because she don't have to be the best in the ring. She unbelievable at storytelling, and she know her character, and she'll sell her put her body on the line for people. See, that's one thing I love about the wrestlers who y'all love to shit talk about, oh, they not the greatest in the ring. boy, they be some of the best at putting their bodies on the line. Because they understand if I'm not the greatest at this aspect, I'm going to be fucking phenomenal at this aspect. Like, look at how some of these motherfuckers put their body on the line. It's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy. But this match ended. This was a great match to me. You got to go back and watch. I like the Bobby Lashley match also with Brock, but that was quick. So you could go and watch that match and, that'll take you no time. This was a great match for me. Now, Damage Control ended up winning because as Alexa Bliss was finna hit her finisher, Twisted Bliss, Nikki Cross came into the ring while the ref and a lot of shit was going on and hit a move on Alexa Bliss, which ultimately led to Dakota getting the win. And so the titles change hands after they just changed hands. So I'm not with the playing hot potato with the titles. All right, I'm never going to agree with that because that's going to diminish the value of your titles, which is what happened to a lot of different titles before, which is why you had to start having open tournaments so people could start defending them for so long. And playing hot potato with a title is going to make nobody feel actually legitimate. What you don't want is for the entire division to feel equal. So people always talk about, we want everybody to get the same opportunity. No, that's not true. We don't need the whole division to feel the same because then we have a bad division. We need people who are clearly standouts in the division, who are clearly the alphas of the division, whether it be men or women. That's why you have the Charlottes, the Biancas, the Baileys, the Beckys, the Sashas, if she ever come back. And then you have the next tier. Oh, the Rondas in the first tier. But then you have that next tier of wrestlers. So, to me, if everybody felt like a Charlotte in the division, that'd be good. But that'd be a lot of conflict going on because you wouldn't truly ever know how to book somebody properly. If everybody felt like a Nikki Cross in the division, that's a problem. Because not only do you not have a dominant feeling champion, but now you got a champion who anybody can beat each other because they offer. So you don't never want that issue. So I'm not with the continuously changing titles and whatnot. And I didn't really know why they changed the titles on Raw anyways to begin with. I hope that's not that shock jock booking like, watch the show because we'll make a title change on. I hope that shit don't start. But I think it's going to happen. Now, the one reason I don't have a major problem with this, because I actually think the titles is on the hands of the people who it should be on. I wanted Asuka and Alexa to win because I'm an Asuka stan. But I did think the title should have never left the hands of Damage Control anyways, because that's a team that's actually got a name for one. They're not coming out there as EO and Dakota. They come out as Damage Control. Two, on top of that, Asuka and Alexa are not tag team wrestlers. They should be fighting against Bianca. They should be having feuds with Bianca because that's what should be happening. They shouldn't be stuck in a tag team. So I'm not mad at that happening. Plus, I'm almost certain that Alexa is about to start a feud with Nikki Cross, which is great. I'm glad that this is happening because I'm imagining. Now, I'm imagining that. Actually, I don't know if Nikki Cross will lose this feud or not because this is like a new Nikki Cross, but I don't know who WWE have more invested in, but you could do a lot of great with both of them throughout this feud. But I'm imagining that Alexa Bliss is going to win a feud. I would imagine, because I'm just imagining and the only reason I'm saying this is because I've seen Alexa as the top dog. And I'm imagining that's where they're trying to get her back to. But I could be wrong. But I'm imagining, once again, after saying that like the 15th time, that's gonna a feud is gonna start. Now, where do you go with Asuka? Because Asuka better not just be dropped off into obscurity. Like, they better do something with Asuka, bro. Like, dead ass. Asuka, I got your back. Here on Wrestling with Saint, we support Asuka. Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. The next after that match, though, which, like I said, great match. Nikki being a super hater at the end, but I ain't even gonna trip on that. Logan Paul and his groupies showed up. His brother came dressed in an all white. I don't know if you call it a dashiki. I can't remember what you call that shit that he had on. That shit was almost some sauce, but I actually did. I'm gonna tell you what's funny. And I'm not making this shit up. I understand I done heard about Jake Paul. I told y'all I just found out that these motherfuckers weren't the same people like a couple months ago, like a year ago. No, it was actually, a couple months ago I just found out these motherfuckers weren't the same people because I thought they was the same people at first. I did not know that Jake Paul was bigger than Logan. Unless I'm just tripping, I understand he's shorter than Logan. But not to mention, I did not realize how much smaller these two motherfuckers is compared to Roman. Like, Roman looked like a slim, big dude nowadays. But he still looked so much bigger than the two Paul brothers. Not only that, I don't know why I didn't realize that Jake Paul was that, stocky. I didn't even realize he was that short. But I also didn't realize he was, like, built like that. The Logan Paul one really don't surprise me. Logan looked like he built exactly how he would be built. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the Jake Paul one was actually, it threw me for a loop right there. I was like, I did not know. Because I never actually watched Jake Paul. Like, I have never watched the Jake Paul video. I've never watched the Logan Paul video. I've never watched any of those fights. So, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't. But neither here nor there. His groupie showed up and they did cut a little promo. The one lucky shot. I was tired of hearing that shit. Third match of the night. Nah, I'm probably going to blow through this match because I'm not going to lie. This was the hardest match for me to stay invested in. I did everything I could to watch this match and enjoy it. To watch this match and, Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross is a rivalry that I thought I was going to enjoy. Well, no, I did not think I was going to enjoy it because I have seen Karrion Kross, but I hadn't seen him recently enough to know what to expect. I know how Drew McIntyre feuds go, though. So it's just, I'm never invested in Drew. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I done almost become completely disinterested in Drew McIntyre as a character. Like, when he come on the screen or something like that, I usually walk away, go do something else, or, change the channel, or just find something else to do. Yo, this squirrel is fucking this nut up. And this motherfucker done ate about 6 nuts, bro. It's like he digging them out the ground or something. But anyways, I'm so disinterested in Drew McIntyre, but he and Karrion Kross had a steel cage match because, keep Scarlett Bordeaux out of the match. I'm going to just fast forward to the end of this match when all the shenanigans started to happen with Scarlett. Drew was about to leave the cage. She sprayed him with mace. She also sprayed the ring dude with mace. Karrion was crawling out. Obviously, you knew they wasn't going to have these dudes win the same way. Beat Drew the same way like they did last time. So Drew somehow fought through the pepper spray or mace that was sprayed at him. And he pulled Karrion back in the ring. He eventually hit Karrion with a claymore. And Scarlett locked the cage and was holding the key, taunting Drew. Drew ends up just climbing over the cage. And then Scarlett rushed to unlock the cage because as Drew's about to come out, Karrion Kross was crawling out. And so it became like a race to beat the clock. Who would score first? I mean, who would score first? This was basically became a race against the clock on who would get out of the cage first. And that was the whole basis of the match. You knew you was just waiting for the Scarlett Bordeaux shenanigans to happen. And this, be honest with you, man, this is a Drew McIntyre type of match. This was a Drew McIntyre type of win. This was Drew. Drew losing wouldn't have made any difference for me because he would have, it would have been shenanigans that caused him to win. He overcame the shenanigans. Oh, man, Drew McIntyre. I think Drew is my least favorite wrestler on the roster. I'm be honest with you. They don't even try shit with this dude anymore. With not Alexa Bliss. With I be saying I'm critical of Liv Morgan, but I'm not critical of the way I'm critical of Liv is because I can see the improvements. I can see where she could go and how great she could be. With Drew, I'm critical at this point, and I'm dead ass. It might just be negativity at this point, because I just don't see it with Drew, bro. I really don't. Like, this motherfucker, I hate the way he booked. He booked like John Cena, just not with the titles. And that's even worse when you book like that and don't have a title. I just don't like Drew McIntyre as the character right now. I just think this is one of the worst book characters I've ever seen in my lifetime of watching wrestling. Drew McIntyre is actually the reason I stopped watching Raw a couple months ago, or a year ago. So whenever Drew was the one that was the main dude on Raw during that pandemic time, I was watching in the beginning because I was happy for Drew. Then once I started to realize, oh, this is whack, stop watching. It was until they had to match him up against Bobby and Sheamus the second go around with Bobby for me to finally watch him again, because I was like, man, nobody wants to watch this dude anymore. Like, at least I don't. So because of how they booked Drew McIntyre, it just became impossible for me to watch him. And now it's damn near legitimately impossible to watch him. Like, I really don't know what you do. To me, the only ugly spot on this match, on the card, aside from the crowd that was irritating me at times, the crowd was loving this match. I just wasn't. Karrion's not going to win this feud. And if he does win this feud, he's not going to look stronger coming out of this feud the way they're going to try to talk it up to be. And the fact that the WWE don't realize that is ridiculous to me. Michael Cole can shout to the top of his lungs and try to make it as real as possible that was a huge victory for Karrion Kross if he wins a feud with Drew. But we know he's not going to win a feud legitimately against Drew. We know he's not going to pick up a clean win in this feud at any point in time. People talk about Roman having been pinned since 2018 or some shit like that. When the last time Drew McIntyre been pinned clean by somebody not named Roman? Even though I don't even think Roman got a clean win against Drew McIntyre. I'm talking about no interactions, no distractions, no nothing. Just 1, 2, 3 go into the ring and beat Drew McIntyre. I don't know the last time that's happened. Every single fucking feud that this man done lost over the last couple years. Matter of fact, I'm not finna do this, bro. I'm not doing this with Drew. Next, Roman Reigns and the Bloodline ended up showing up to grace us with their presence. To let us know they have arrived. Fourth match of the night was the Judgment Day. And boy, I love the Judgment Day. Judgment Day taking on the OC. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of the OC. I like AJ. I even like Gallows. Not the biggest Carl Anderson fan. Love the Rainbow Spine Buster he done stole from Triple H. And I guess that's a homage to Triple H. But yeah, I think Carl Anderson, bless him. I don't know how you can talk shit about a company the way he does. And you just come right on back. Because the funny thing about some of these wrestlers is they don't really have true problems, like legitimate gripes with the WWE and Vince. Their legitimate gripes is just, we weren't booked the way we felt like we should have been booked. That's it. And at no point in time have I ever wanted the OC to be the top tag teams. And I don't give a damn how big the OC is. I'm not talking about AJ. I'm talking about Gallows and Anderson. I don't give a damn how good the Good Brothers are in other wrestling factions or promotions. The fact of the matter is, they ain't New Day, they ain't the Usos in the WWE. So, if the Usos and the New Day, who I watch go through hell to get to become the greats that they are, if they can sit and take shit and come out as legends on the other end, then so can Carl Anderson. Which, mind you, I don't even think that this team has been booked terribly at any point in time when they got back. The thing with some of these motherfuckers who come in from other promotions is they come in as stars in those other promotions and think they should be the same big star in the WWE. When we've seen time and time again, just because you a star over there don't mean you gonna be a star over here. Especially when you think you just gonna come in and do the same shit that you did over there over here. And you think it's going to translate. Here's a newsflash. I know a lot of people don't realize this. The majority of the WWE fans do not watch other wrestling promotions. Now, as a WWE stan myself, I have watched other wrestling promotions. And I'm just telling you right now, the only other wrestling promotion I've ever enjoyed was TNA. And then that became terrible. That is it. I do not like AEW. I've talked about this before. To say that that is a good wrestling show is insane to me. That is nonsense. That is the shit that y'all be hoping happen every night on a WWE show. And I'm so happy that it don't. Y'all take all these fucking indie dudes, put them on AEW, and let them go wild and have your fun. But I'm happy that WWE did not let the WWE go indie boy crazy. Because boy, do that wrestling get worse and worse every time I watch it. But listen, bro, if that's for you, that's for you, bro. I'm not hating on you, you know. But the Judgment Day, I'm going to say something about Cole. This motherfucker Michael Cole got to be one of the biggest fucking haters in the WWE right now, bro. And it ain't even close. He was hating on Dom the whole match. Like, I'm surprised Dom was able to focus with how loud Michael Cole ass was hating. This shit was ridiculous. Ever since Pat done got left, and since Cole haven't had Corey to check him all the time, I noticed Cole done became very, very big in the hating scene. You know, just hating left and right. Just left. Boy, you would have thought that was Cole's son out there the way he was going at Dom. Just absolutely ridiculous. But I love the Judgment Day right now. This is... Oh, and shout out to Beth Phoenix, the late, great Beth Phoenix. Rhea Ripley did her hair for you, big dog. So you know why you at home, you know, healing. You know, just know Rhea did one for you. Rhea put you on the shelf and she looked out for you. She paid homage to you. You gotta love that, Beth. You can't come back mad at her for that. You know what I'm saying? I saw how shiesty you used to be back in the day, Beth. Come on now. Stop it. That boy AJ Styles a dog though. When AJ get to doing all that shit, man, that motherfucker got the best Pele kick in the WWE in wrestling. When that motherfucker hit a Pele kick, it's insane. Yo, Gallows had a great little spot in this match too, where he was going. I like this match, by the way. I enjoyed this match. I know I was very critical just now of Carl Anderson and Gallows and whatever. I like Gallows, by the way. Gallows, I have no choice but to like Gallows because the motherfucker was Festus, and while Festus might not have been my... It was crazy how they say something, that motherfucker just snap out of it. You know what type of balls you gotta have to play that type of role? But I like Gallows. I'm not gonna have a problem with Gallows. He basically started. I've met him through WWE, so I'm always root for him. But he had a fucking moment in this match where I didn't even know he could still move like that. That motherfucker was moving. When he hit that little shoulder tackle through the air, I'm like, oh, my boy flying. Boy got wings. He grew wings. Motherfucker got Red Bull in that fucking singlet. But this was a great match. And like I said, Carl Anderson performed a beautiful... So it ain't Triple H's Rainbow Spine Buster, but it is a hell of a Rainbow Spine Buster. And he performed that shit smooth. And so this was a great match. Finn Balor and AJ Styles are some dogs. And they clearly the alpha dogs in this match, not named Rhea Ripley. Those are clearly the two, like, vets, the two dudes that are carrying these factions. Even though that's not how it's going with the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day now feels like a faction being carried by every single member. This motherfucker Finn Balor, bro. I'm so happy they figured out how to get Finn on the top of a card again and figure out how to get him as a main character on the show weekly. Because this dude is so great. Like, this dude is so great. And I think sometimes people forget how great Finn Balor is. But one of the best things that they did was turn this motherfucker from a face to a heel. I never could have imagined Finn would have been this. Now, I did see him as the Prince in NXT. But I'm talking about just overall being a heel, even then. I couldn't imagine. Finn did not ever strike me as a dude whose career would have been saved as a heel. Now, I always say turn faces into heels once the crowd just stopped giving them the reaction that they want. But that's a washed storyline at this point. The way Finn turned heel and his reasonings and, you know, all the things. I love Finn as a heel. I did not know turning this man to... Because I thought Finn was a perfect babyface if they just booked him properly. The way people used to be like, Seth Rollins should have never been a heel. He could have been the perfect babyface. I never agreed with that. I always thought to myself, Seth Rollins is going to be a phenomenal heel. I always thought that Finn Balor was going to be like a top-notch babyface. So to see him as a top-notch heel is just fucking wild to me. And it just show you the evolution of these dudes, man. When you want to be great, you figure that shit out, bro. You figure that shit out. And I respect Finn for that. But I'm so happy that Finn figured it out. They figured it out. Because Finn have to be on these shows. Finn in this faction just makes sense, bro. Like, Finn and AJ are him. Like, those two motherfuckers can go. I love watching those two go. And I'm so happy that obviously I'm not really talking about AJ and the OC because they just got together. But Finn and this Judgment Day group, Damian Priest is finally starting to look like a big man. Who would have thought how much better this team could look if the big man of the group started wrestling like a big man? I'm not saying you got to take away all his other moves that he do, his aerial moves, all the jumping moves he like to do, the spinning moves. But what I am saying is you can give him a big boot that he can consistently hit on people to look like a big man that he is. And what do you know? Now the motherfucker hitting big boots left and right like the fucking Undertaker. Who would have thunk it? That if a big man in a group performed like a big man, there would be profits in it. Who could have thunk it? But Damian Priest has looked better. Rhea Ripley, I told you from the beginning, the success of the Judgment Day when it was looking very murky, make Rhea the focus. I kept saying it. Rhea Ripley, the group has to be, the goal of this group right now has to be to turn Rhea Ripley into a superstar. And then everything else will work itself out. The focus cannot be Finn Balor and Damian Priest at the moment. Because we've tried this. And we've tried this with Finn. You have to, and I don't even really truly know why I completely thought that making this group more so lean into being about Rhea was what was going to change it. But it's just something told me, like, Rhea is the key to unlock this group. And what do you know? Now that Rhea Ripley basically feel like the pseudo leader of the group, look at where this group is going. Look, it was Rhea who was able to convince Dom to finally join the group and actually take up that mindset that they embody. It was Rhea who evened the odds or who turned the tables for them in all these different type of feuds. Rhea Ripley, I said it from the rip. Her career was staggering at the moment. They didn't really know what to do with her. They knew she was a star, but they had given her superstar booking far too early. Because once the big dogs started to settle in, it became very evident, and Bianca really made it very evident, Rhea wasn't where we wanted Rhea or where they wanted Rhea to be. Now you are getting Rhea back to that point where you want her to be, where you can pull her out of this group, or not even pull out of the group, because you don't need to break up this group. Rhea can challenge for that title with Bianca right now and can win because of the Judgment Day. That's how you take out a Bianca. Rhea Ripley could legitimately win the title off of her because she has a legitimate backup, a legitimate group we believe in. Now, I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know how it don't happen because Rhea and Bianca have done stories together, but Bianca being, because it's like people say, the only person who legitimately being booked good enough to beat Roman right now is Bianca. And that even solidified it more after her match last night. But the Judgment Day to me is just getting it. Whoever is booking them, whoever took the time to not give up on them, just chef's kiss. And at the end of this match, when it looked like AJ was about to hit the phenomenal forearm on Finn Balor, which they have to have that bandana sewed into his pants. Because it's no way that he don't lose that bandana the whole match, Finn. That just popped up in my head, that purple bandana. But either way, the purple cloth, whatever you want to call it. As he was about to hit it, Rhea Ripley put AJ in like an electric chair type maneuver and dropped his goofy ass on the apron. Michael Cole yells out, "Somebody's got to kick her ass." Bruh, I died. That shit had me in tears, bro. I said, yo, this motherfucker Mike Cole is a legend, bro. I said, yo, this dude is ridiculous. And Rhea must have heard him because she started saying something to him. This whole shit with Judgment Day was perfect. Judgment Day is exactly where you want them to be. And you just know they can be even greater. Like, bro, chef's fucking kiss to the Judgment Day. Fifth match of the night. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, we gotta have a conversation. Braun Strowman, Omos. Braun Strowman won this match. He ended up getting a power slam. And that was really his only offense in this match. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you who won the match. And that's the only, real offensive move Braun did. This match was not about Braun Strowman. I'm just telling you that right now. And I'm almost certain the people in the back probably watched this match and said to themselves, by God, we should have booked Omos to win this match. Omos went to the ring without MVP. This is I told y'all Omos is going to be. I could see that he could be great because how he was selling for those dudes earlier in the year at one of those pay-per-views, how he was selling left and right. This motherfucker is going to be the truth. Omos just had his greatest showing that he has had in the WWE. This dude went to the ring and completely owned the ring. From his confidence, his swagger, the shit talk. So crisp and clean with all his moves. I don't know what the fuck got into Omos, but when you see a guy who's never done what Omos just went out there and did, go out there and do it, and look so fucking good doing it. This is your monster. This is your monster. I am the only giant. You are no giant. Like, Omos just owned the fucking ring. At the end of this match, I literally did not care that Omos lost. Because the only thing I could think to myself was, Omos has arrived. This feud is not over. And I can almost guarantee you, if this was a feud booked for Braun to win, Braun is not winning this feud. They are going to get Omos his win back. Omos just dominated that. Like I said, for one, I know Big E was in love with that Tale of the Tapes. That shit was insane for these two dudes. But the Nigerian Giant has arrived. He didn't look this good against Bobby Lashley. He didn't look this good against anybody he done faced. As far as his confidence, his swagger, being so sure of himself, knowing what to do, even getting up there for Braun to hit him with the power slam was clean as hell. I'm telling y'all right now, you better pray that Omos don't never get ripped like Braun Strowman. You better pray Omos don't never become a polished in-ring competitor, because if he do, I'm just telling you right now, that is a future undisputed champion. The spectacle of Omos, 7'4", 414 pounds. Can you imagine them putting a title on that? That is Omos is the great Khali, but far better right now, because he can talk into a mic now. I'm telling you. The shit talk was like Roman Reigns shit talking his opponents throughout. And you know how great Roman can work a crowd. Omos was working the crowd. He was really working it. Bro, Omos was probably the star of the night for me. I'm not going to lie to you. This shit blew me away. I probably was dozing off a little bit, not because of the show, but because I had just came from working like a 7-6 hour shift at a warehouse. So I was a little bit, probably, Bones probably quieting it down now because I'm not moving around. They probably settling in all right, let's start cramping up on them a little bit. And this just completely shot new life into me. I'm like, yo, this MVP had to be in the back just like my boy. Like Triple H, Vince, all the people who just had to be like my boy. Like, this is what you wanted Omos to get to. You can go places with this. They saw that last night and was like, we got something. We always thought we had something, We know we have something now. We can win with that. Point blank, period. So shout out to Omos, man. That was absolute. I really do think he should have won that match, but I just really don't think he cared. Because after, even Michael Cole said it. Like, I don't know if Michael Cole was, it just don't sound like that was audible, bro. Like he was just reading a script. Michael Cole seemed as legitimately blown away with Omos's performance as I was. He even said, like, this is Omos's best performance. And that's when you know somebody done put on their best performance, because it's not hard to remember the best ones. I told you, when he put his body on the line and was selling for those dudes in that that battle royal type match, that was his best moment, because it shows you that a dude as big as Omos was willing to sell his entire body for the fans, for his opponents, for the show. That mean a lot. And now you see this. Oh my goodness. Michael Cole saw what I saw. That's why he was so blown away. Michael Cole saw that match and said to himself, I am looking at a future fucking legend. Like, if Omos can do this, if he can get to this, and that's why we say it's not always about how great you actually are as a in-ring wrestler, because that's so small as far as like being great. Alexa Bliss wasn't the greatest in the ring competitor during one of her greatest runs, but it was because everything else she was great at, she was unbelievably great at. Like, Omos showed us tonight, not only can I work a crowd and work a ring, I can work my opponent. I can talk shit throughout the match and keep it going. I can create my own momentum. Like this, when you see a wrestler evolving like this, bro, that's something else. That's something else. Omos was the star of the night for me. I'm not going to lie to you. And you know I love being biased and giving star of the night to Bianca. But that was definitely a star of the night. Y'all lucky Charlotte ain't on the show, because her and Bianca definitely would be just collecting them. But boy, Omos was undoubtedly the star of the night for me. That Omos was legendary last night. That was fucking phenomenal. Bro, I was so happy to see that from Omos. I was so happy to see that, because that just showed me. Now Omos just got to figure out his look. Obviously, he got a whole bunch of... he looked good last night also. That's what I'm telling y'all. If this motherfucker come in one day with abs ripped up at 7'4", do you understand what that would look like? That's a human. This ain't no made-up character. This is a human. Get ready, because I think he got that type of work ethic in him. The sixth match of the night, the Usos took on the Brawling Brutes. Now listen, this is another one of them things where the crowd was kind of, they love the Usos. Let me put it like that. I'm so irritated with this Usi chant, bro. Like, this is my thing with the Uso chant, the Usi chant. It's clearly colonizer type shit. Sami Zayn been a colonizer this entire time. It feel like Jay the only one who see this. And everything that the bloodline was built on would never allow Sami Zayn to take it this far and to distract everybody from, like, Roman Reigns being who he is. You wouldn't think that he would be happy with the attention that Sami getting and the Usos and all this type. You know, you would think he would understand this colonizer behavior and what this is turning into, but you know, it's insane to me. The colonizing continues. But I'm gonna be quick with this match because I was so long with some of the other ones. The 1D from the top fucking rope was insane. Like, I knew the Usos weren't losing this match. They're not gonna use the... Let me tell you something. There's a couple things I know. When you can set up New Day Usos, you are not letting the Brawling Brutes ruin that. It is no shot. They might ruin the match when we get to the match, but you ain't ruin it going into the match. Not the two greatest tag teams of this generation, or ever, in my opinion. You're not letting them ruin that. So it was no chance in hell that if the Usos weren't going to touch that record, it was going to be by a team not named the New Day. Because the only team that's stopping them from touching that record is the New Day. It ain't going to be no Brawling Brutes. It ain't going to be some other team that was put together randomly like RK Bro and none of that shit. That was never going to be a reality. So shout out to the Usos. Now for the Brawling Brutes, I realized like the biggest pops they would get. I really think I'm over the hand manipulation, a joint manipulation by Pete Dunne. Or he not Pete Dunne no more. He Butch. I think I'm super over that, but I understand that that's just his fighting style. But I just think in the context of how we try to make things feel more realistic nowadays, it just don't make sense thinking that he actually breaking people's fingers and stuff, because then they wouldn't be able to continue to wrestle. So I just feel like there's other ways we could change those spots where it don't have to be joint manipulation as much as it is just stepping on people's fingers and shit like that, like Randy Orton's and shit, like bending people's fingers back. Like, we don't have to make it like, he might have broke it. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Cole being a dumbass, and then we see the dude out there right after the match or finishing the match just fine. So that would be my only thing with them. But also, the biggest pop that I think that the Brawling Brutes got throughout this match was when Ridge did Sheamus's 10 beats of the Bowery. And that's a problem when your biggest pop is something that you get because of Sheamus's tie to it. Like, I understand what the WWE is trying to do is get this group to a point where they don't need Sheamus around. That's why they got Sheamus hurt, so that they could see what this team could be without Sheamus. But I'm not going to hold too much weight from the crowd that I just saw tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to let the crowd that was at this show determine too much, because it really seemed like this show, these people had already picked who they was going to cheer for when they showed up. They was going to cheer for the ones that they firmly knew. So we seen Bayley at these shows before, so we going to cheer for Bayley sometimes. We know Roman Reigns, so we definitely going to cheer for him. We know the Usos, so we going to cheer for them. Like, it felt like you had to really earn their reaction, or they was just going to cheer for the person that they had already seen before anyway. So I hate stupid wrestling crowds, and I don't mean stupid in the way of like, oh, these dudes are a bunch of dumbasses. I hate wrestling crowds that's just not wrestling smart or not up to date on what's been happening in the WWE and shit like that. Because, some of the reactions that they give just completely fuck matches, bro. That's why I had no problem with the crowd noise that they pitted in with WWE. Because I know they was thinking to themselves, man, this is exactly how the crowd's supposed to sound. When we felt like, I know they was happy when they could pit in the noise that they wanted to get from the things like, and I understand you get certain reactions from crowd, like you can't, the crowd's reaction is not 100% thing at times, but sometimes you just get reactions from the crowds where I know the people in the back just sitting back like, yo, what the fuck is this crowd, yo? Like, no, like, the fuck? Like, I know that's how some people in the back be with these WWE crowds at times, like, bro, I beat these. But anyways, the 7th match. Oh, before I get to this match, because I want to pop them last 2 matches in sequence. The last match was Bayley and Bianca, last woman standing. And then the 8th one was Roman Logan. In between those 2 matches, you had the Bray Wyatt experience, which I'm not going to lie to you. I'm over this Bray Wyatt experience. I don't know where it's going to go to. I'm not over it in the sense that obviously I want to see it play out, see where it lead to. But Bray Wyatt has become more of a spectacle than a wrestler. Which, when that happens, I just don't see him ever becoming a legitimate champion again. Like, he's never beaten Roman Reigns for a title. A Bobby Lashley, if they book Bobby properly, for a Brock Lesnar. Like, to me, he is way more of a spectacle now. Like, the lights, the flashy, the mask, we have come so fucking far away from what was once a cult Bray Wyatt, who was the leader of the Wyatt family, who was unfucking believable. Not at just working a crowd, telling a story and all that, but at wrestling and being a believable. I don't know what the fuck Bray Wyatt is right now, what he's becoming. But I'm over this experience. Obviously, I want to see it play out. But it's not just this. I hated The Fiend. To me, he was winning matches that he didn't make sense that he was winning. He don't sell. Like, I'm like, bro, this is not, like, this is whack to me. Like, dead ass whack. And so that's why y'all was so mad when Goldberg beat him. Because of how the stupid booking for him was. It made no sense for nobody but Goldberg to beat him at that point in time. So you had to beat him as ugly as he was getting ugly wins. I literally went to a Bray Wyatt show. a show where the Fiend was defending his title. The whole thing was red and everything. And I dead ass looked over to my homeboy and was like, bro, this is the wackest shit I ever, like, bro, I hate the Fiend. Like that. I was even at the show where the Fiend, I don't know if this was the first time he showed up, but I was at a show where everybody thought the show was about to end and the lights popped off and then Bray's old fire ass song. Not this new shit that he got. Like, so, the Bray Wyatt experience happened. And that's literally how they are dragging him around, like a Bray Wyatt experience now. Like, not a wrestler, an experience. So, I don't know, man. I'm over it, though. But the 7th match of the night was Bianca Bailey. This is when I knew for a fact that the crowd was sexist. This match did not get, unless I'm just tripping, this match did not get a single "This is awesome" chant. And this was a awesome fucking match. From the, Bailey performed probably one of her best Bailey to bellies I've ever seen on the stage, at the top of the stage. That was a beautiful Bailey to belly to Bianca. The fighting on top of the golf cart, about to run a Kevin Owens Roman Reigns on. I love when wrestlers pay homage to current like WWE wrestlers that's fighting right now. Like, that's dope. Like, I saw Kevin Owens do it, or Roman do it. Let me do it too. So I appreciate that spot. I even like how they flipped that spot to where they changed it into their own little spot. Like, to me, this was their best. I don't know, because they had a great match at that last pay-per-view too. Bianca just put on bangers, bro, as does Bailey. They just know how to do this shit. And so I wonder, what do the 4 horsewomen think when they see Bianca? Like, I know it ain't nothing negative, but I just wonder, are they as blown away by Bianca as I am? Because I don't think I've ever seen anybody become this great this quick. And it makes sense. Like, it makes sense that Bianca is this great. Like, everything she done shown us proves that she is this great. Like, you knew they couldn't hold Bianca back. I don't know, bro. Bianca's a dog, bro. But you just look at this match, bro, and it's so... Like, I just could not understand how this didn't get a reaction, because this was a phenomenal match, which you expect from Bianca and Bailey. I done said it multiple times. When you got a great dance partner and you a great dancer yourself, you create a beautiful symphony. A beautiful symphony. But, to me, I wasn't quite sure how to... I was definitely intrigued on who... Because I couldn't see either one of these two staying down for a 10 count. So I always knew it was going to be some type of maneuver used, or something that was going to have to happen to keep them down. I thought that Bailey was going to call in damage control to try to hold down Bianca or something like that. Dog. When Bianca hit the KOD on the chair, put Bailey in between the ladder and closed the ladder and pushed it in under the ring post so that it couldn't open, and she couldn't completely get it under there, but I see what she was trying to do. Oh my goodness. So not only is she the strongest, the fastest, the biggest, the baddest, the bestest, the greatest, but she the fucking smartest. She the smartest. That shit was brilliant. I can't remember the last time I seen somebody win a last man. Has anybody ever won a last man standing match like that? Like, that was amazing. Like, that was absolute. Whoever is booking Bianca clearly knows that they are booking a GOAT. Because when you can continuously come up with these different type of ways for Bianca to look great, that tells me that you are invested. They could have had her win this match some old, easy, run-of-the-mill type of way. They are legitimately thinking and understanding that we have a legend on our hands. And like I said, the only person that's been booked strong enough to beat Roman Reigns right now legitimately is Bianca. And Bianca's fucking fit. Bianca had the fit of the night. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. That shit was hard, bro. The purple, it's a whole onesie, but it looked like kind of like a march. Like, bro, her shit was thunder, bro. Bianca got with the drip, my guy. Bianca with the drip. Bianca was definitely getting the... Oh, I haven't even told you my match of the night, bro. Obviously, I ain't finished with the show, but I already done went over the match of the night for me. So I could have actually told you the match of the night already. Now, some people might say that the Roman Reigns and Logan Paul, wow, that was a great match. It wasn't the match of the night for me. The match of the night for me was Bianca and Bayley, and it was the other women's match. Now, I know some people might say, oh, well, you only saying that because you said the crowd was sexist. No, sir. I'm saying that because those were legitimately my two favorite matches of the night. My favorite moment of the night was seeing Omos' evolution. The favorite dress of the night, easily Bianca. Cleanest fit of the whole fucking night. Shit was fire. Alexa, you finished in second. It was a clean fit, but Bianca just does this. And my MVP of the night was basically my spotlight of the night is Omos. But the matches of the night that I enjoyed like thoroughly from start to finish all the way through. And I enjoyed the last match of the night. I enjoyed basically every match on this card except for the Drew McIntyre match. But it was just something about Io and seeing Alexa be old Alexa Bliss. I'ma always enjoy that. I'ma enjoy seeing wrestlers be great and relive their greatness and show us that they can still be great. Seeing Asuka be great. Seeing Io Shirai be such a, and I don't want to act like I hope this don't sound like I'm leaving Dakota off, because Dakota a dog too. She was killing it too, but it just felt like Io was really running it. But the last match of the night, Roman Reigns, Logan Paul. It was a good match. I don't really know why Logan Paul was kicking out of so many counts at one. I don't really know why that was happening so much. But okay, that happened. The funniest shit in this match, while the match is going, Paul Heyman just randomly from the sideline, rise up, my tribal chief. Rise up, my tribal chief. Rise up, my tribal. I was dying. Paul Heyman dead ass had me in tears throughout this match. It was just multiple times where he was saying goofy shit on the sideline. I love Paul Heyman so much, bro. When this motherfucker, and he was literally doing it with his hands like, rise up, my tribal chief. I was like, yo, this dude is a legend. Like, that shit had me in tears on the, like, cause I was like, yo, who the fuck is that? And then they panned to him. I was like, yo, this dude, Paul, is a clown. And then towards the end of Paul gets it, bro. Like, Paul had a hell of a closing to the night. But you know, a lot of shenanigans. And I just want to say, this is the bloodline, okay? Not with that colonizer Sami Zayn out there. All right, I hope this was foreshadowing that they were going to end up cutting Sami off. And I don't understand why the bloodline got to keep saying, you ain't getting Sami. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sami clearly a distraction from the true greatness in the group. Sami ain't even got a championship, bro. So I hope we come to the end of this colonizer activity by Sami Zayn. However, I'm not going to give you the whole Roman Reigns, Logan Paul match, because I know that's the match most people going to want to see just off of names alone. So I'm not going to ruin the match. But what I will say is that motherfucker Logan Paul, when he doing these dives and shit, that motherfucker's body be so planked, like so straight. It should be hilarious to me. I'll be like, my boy, you know you can breathe a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, that motherfucker turned into a straight up piece of wood, bro. That shit is hilarious to me. But you know Roman Reigns is not going to have a bad match. You know that. Roman Reigns is allergic to having bad matches. I think the last bad match Roman Reigns had, and I'm pretty sure I'm right because I can remember it off the top of my head, was when he was fighting, he was still a good guy. He was fighting Randy Orton. I think it was at Survivor Series also. And Randy carried the whole fucking match. The entire match. Roman just at that time, I don't know if he was sick. I don't know if he just wasn't into it. But Randy carried him through a whole fucking match. Just to lose at the end for him. Shout out Randy. We know how this thing works. Maybe Roman just didn't have it that night. But that one off night in a billion on nights is why he is our tribal chief. But that was Crown Jewel 2022. I enjoyed it. I told you it was a great show. Did not really fuck with the crowd too much because it felt like they was getting real sexist in my opinion. Could not really understand their neglect of not wanting to root for Bobby Lashley or Bianca Belair. That made absolutely no sense to me. Could be me being biased. I am a black man who absolutely loves black wrestlers, even though I feel like I love all the wrestlers. I'm not going to lie to you. Bianca is probably my favorite wrestler on the roster right now, but Bianca should be a lot of people's favorite wrestler on the roster right now. And even if you don't like Bianca for some weird reason, I actually have heard a white dude say one of the most racist fucking reasons as to why he don't like Bianca. I'm not going to get into that right now, though. But if you look at Bianca and you don't see Charlotte Flair, then to me, you are just a goof. Because it's no way. Because that's, to me, as a matter of fact, that might be why people starting to boo her, because they looking at her saying Charlotte Flair. And that's just a reminder that greatness will always be hated on. But that's going to piss me off, because Bianca is not turning heel. Bianca is the baby face that you create in a video game. That is the baby face you want carrying your company. Point blank, period. You got your heel of the company, and you got your baby face of the company. And it is no doubt Bianca is the top baby face in this company. So I wasn't feeling that. But like I said, love the show. To me, everybody, shout out to all the wrestlers, the producers, everybody who did a part in putting this type shit together for our entertainment. I thoroughly enjoyed it. If I had to rank it on a scale from 1 out of 5, I'm probably giving it a 5 stars, because I enjoyed every single thing on the show. The theatrics, the spectacle. Only thing I didn't enjoy was that cage match, and I'm not going to punish the show for that cage match, because that could probably be my irritation with Drew McIntyre showing. So I'm not going to punish them for that, because I'm pretty sure there's people out there who thoroughly enjoyed that match. I just didn't. But other than that, I definitely think you should go check out the show. You know we will be back on the next pay-per-view of WWE, unless we end up doing a random show for Raw or SmackDown. But this was Wrestling with Saint. I was your host, your proprietor of the evening, Saint. Shout out Shannon Sharp. Bro, I saw this video, like before I got on, I saw this video of Dr. Umar Johnson talking to, I gotta check that shit out. That shit was crazy. But anyways, tell somebody you fuck with him, tell somebody you love him. I appreciate you for joining me on Wrestling with Saint. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.